Hey, what's going on, y'all? November the 18th. Let's get straight into it. Last week with the picks, I kind of lost track of things. Me and J Star are supposed to go one pick each a day and see who gets the most right out of the 5 days because we go Monday to Friday. So last week, J Star won. I'm pretty sure he got more games than me. This week, we're going to be more on top of things, keep track of things, and then we might even do like a review Sunday. Like he'll go over his picks, I'll go over my picks. Just to see, it's a way to keep track of these teams. It's not only, like I said, it's not only about betting on teams and gambling. Even a lot of times these picks, half of the time these picks that I'm making aren't even picks that, like, I'm not betting every day, right? But I do look at Bet 365 to see the spread, see what teams are favored and whatnot. And I'm always guessing which teams are going to win, regardless whether I'm putting money on it or not. So I'll get into what picks we got for tonight before the end of the video. I'm pretty sure you could probably see it on the thumbnail anyway. But going into what I did have from last Friday was the player match. Want to go over that because it was a good match. It was Anthony Davis going up against Victor Wembanyama, the alien. And let's go over the numbers quick. Right? Let's go over the numbers. So Anthony Davis, 40 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Went 14 for 26 from the field goal, 2 for 4 from the 3 point, 10 for 12 from the free throw. And Victor Wembanyama had 28 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Went 12 for 25 from the field goal, 4 for 13 from 3 point, and didn't get any free throws. So, looking at the score, Los Angeles did win that game 120 to San Antonio 115 in San Antonio. Close game. But when you look at the numbers, and I actually watched a good portion of the game, Davis was really assertive in that game. And you could see in his numbers, and as a matter of fact, I feel like what gave Anthony Davis that extra juice, pause on that, was him going up against Victor Wembanyama. I think the matchup really had him, really had him motivated. And I feel like if Anthony Davis could motivate himself like that all the time, regardless who the matchup is, or maybe if he could keep in his mind that every matchup is Victor Wembanyama, maybe he will have nights like this all the time, right? So we're gonna definitely give it to Davis, right? Because he got the win. He was a big part of that win. Like I said, he played really well, played really assertive. It's not the Anthony Davis that I'm used to seeing. Like I said, I think what gave him that extra was the fact that he was going up against Wembanyama. But what I do like is the 14 for 26 field goal shooting. That's better than 50%. And the 2 for 4 3 point shooting, not too many attempts from three, and kept it at 50%. And also the 10 for 12 free throw shooting, which was amazing to see that he actually got to the line so many times and shot a really good percentage from the line versus Wembenyama, who did not go to the line at all. And yeah, we want to see Wemby get to the line, man. We want to see that. Plus, Wemby's 4 for 13 from the 3 point. Not feeling that either. All right. So definitely giving this one to Anthony Davis. All right. So going straight into the topic today. What do I got for today? The topic is about the Eastern Conference. Now, we're going to look at it because there's a good amount of teams that are like just bunched in together. And it'll have you think, like, who are the better teams in the East right now? Like, really, like, how can you figure that out? And why are these teams so close? Let me pull up what I got here. First of all, let me pull up what I got here. Okay, so you got Cleveland Cavaliers, who a lot of people are saying this is not the real deal. Cleveland, 15-0 at this point. That this could just be that they're really good in the season, and I kind of have a feeling of that. But don't be surprised if Cleveland is the real deal and they go into the postseason killing people. Don't be surprised, right? But I could understand why people aren't buying it yet from Cleveland. Okay. So that 15 and 0, a lot of people aren't buying it, but hey, it's still 15 and 0. And I think, like I said, that big test is going to come up against Boston, which they'll be playing tomorrow. So we'll keep an eye on that. Also, you got Boston next at 11 and 3, and they're 11 and 3, even though I think they could be playing better basketball. So that could be bad or it could be good, because if Boston starts playing better basketball, which in my opinion I think they could do, yeah, they will definitely do some damage again. All right. So yeah, and they're 11 and 3, right? So the Magics obviously out Paolo Banchero, but they did win some crucial games. They actually beat me in some of the picks I had going up against them. They won some games with just Franz Wagner and KCP and those guys. So the Magics, I like the Magics. It'd just be good if they got Paolo back. So they're currently 8 and 6, sitting at third above New York. Who New York is at 7 and 6. I think a big problem with New York is, first of all, their bench. They don't really have a bench. And from what I seen last, Miles McBride is injured, who is the only guy who could really put up points for them coming off the bench. I wanted to say that New York would, I already said they'd start off kind of slow because they got some new pieces. They're going to have to figure out how to work together. But aside from that, if they don't beef up their bench a little bit, it's going to be a tough one. And remember, they're going to have cap issues at some point. Man, I want to see what New York's going to do this year and in the off season, because if they fail this off season, if they fail to, which I think they'll probably make the playoffs, but they probably won't do too much damage in the playoffs, mainly because, like I said, their bench is just, they don't really have a bench, and you need a bench, especially into the playoffs. So the Knicks, tough, 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 tough. I don't think they're gonna have it. They might get into the playoffs, but they might not have such a good time in the playoffs. Detroit Pistons, I think they're doing well. I mean, they're not the worst team in the East anymore, right? They're winning some good games. I believe they're out Asar Thompson. They had some other guys in and out. I think Ivy got injured too at some point. Some other guys too that I can't really name it, but they did have some guys in and out. And in my opinion, they're playing pretty good basketball. Cade Cunningham's playing good basketball too. I think if they could make a play-in, that'll be success for them. Already, it's success. The fact that they're not hovering around the bottom of the East, I think that's success. They're better than last year, so that's good. They're still definitely gonna need some more pieces on that team. So, yeah, let's see how they do though. I think they're okay. They're better than last year, so that's good. Pacers, I think they're somewhat underachieving. They did have some injuries as well. I think Andrew Nembird's been out. Who else? Ben Shepherd. Last time I checked, he's out. Um, who else is out for them? I think. Oh yeah, and Naismith. Naismith is also out. So even though those aren't really, the best players on the team, I think they're significant to the Indiana Pacers' success. Those three players. I mean, they played really good in the playoffs. Ben Shepherd, uh, Naismith, and Nembhard. All those guys played pretty good in the playoffs. So I think they need all those guys. I think the Pacers need their whole squad to be successful. But they're playing the Raptors tonight, so we'll get to see how they do. We'll see how they really look up close and personal. Atlanta don't got much on them. They do have some injuries. I think Buffkin, I think Bogey's out, so I don't know how much that hurts their team. But I'm kind of disappointed in Atlanta. Um, yeah, it's like, I don't know at what point they're gonna show some success. So we'll see. We'll see what Atlanta does. Miami, yeah, not too sure what's going on with them. They might break that team up soon. I know Butler was injured for some time, but yeah, Miami should be a little bit, because even with the squad, they had not the greatest squad years ago when they made it to the finals. So their squad isn't that much different from that team. Yeah, they're missing a few players from that team that made it to the finals, but yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping to see them get a stretch. Hopefully with Butler, I think they're playing tonight, so we'll keep an eye on them to see if they win that game with Butler. I believe he's back tonight. I think he's injured for some time, and he's back tonight. Also, Rozier is injured. So I said this already in a video about injuries. Injuries is a big issue. I think it is. I think people underestimate how big of an issue injuries are, especially in this season. So yeah, so moving on. Charlotte, their two centers, Nick Richards and Mark Williams, both injured. I think those guys will help. Those are their bigs. Those are their two bigs who play pretty good defense. So I don't know if that's enough to say why they're where they're at. Maybe they'll start winning some games soon. We'll see when they get one of their bigs back, if not two, which would be good. We'll see if they could start winning games by then. But I believe that is a big problem for Charlotte right now. They're out their two bigs. Brooklyn's up and down. They weren't projected to do that well, but they've actually been doing better than most people expected them to do. Like, I mean, they've been winning some games. Stayed tight with the New York Knicks in a game the other day. So, yeah, Brooklyn, I'm not too surprised about Brooklyn. Really, we're watching Brooklyn to see what they do for the future, right? That's really what it is. Chicago, same thing. I'm not sure what they got for the future. Don't expect them to do so great. I know Levine's been out some time. Now the Mill, okay, and yeah, they're 5-9. Brooklyn's 5-9. Charlotte's 5-8. Miami's 5-7. Atlanta 6-8. Indiana 6-7, Detroit 7-8, New York 7-6. Sorry if I didn't mention that. Also, Orlando 8-6. Okay, so back down to Milwaukee. Milwaukee is a team who I think is a big disappointment, the biggest disappointment that I've seen this year. Even though Lillard's been whatever in and out, or I don't expect them to be losing this much games. I know their roster, they didn't have the best roster. I said that coming into the season. But even with that being said, I expected them to win some more games. And Lillard worries me because I think he might just be waiting for his contract to be up. And I think he'll be out of there. So, yeah, Milwaukee. And then if he's out of there, if they don't have an answer quick, Giannis could be next. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Milwaukee in this next year or two. Washington, don't expect much from them. They are where they're at, 2-10. Sorry, Milwaukee's 2-9. Washington 2-10. Don't expect much from them. Sixers, that's important to see where they're at right now because I don't expect them to do much this year. It looks like they're chasing the bottom, which would be the best draft pick. They're 2-10. I don't expect Embiid to be rushing in and because there's not much he could do. Once you start off this bad, there's only so much you could do to pull yourselves back up. Plus, that knee looks horrible. I don't think he should. I don't think he'll be touched. I don't think he should touch the court this year. Honestly, just from what I've seen with his knee in the last couple years, and what I've seen with his knee the last time he touched the floor, I don't think he's ready, man. I think he needs to give that knee the rest it needs and come back when he's good. You know what I mean? So it's sad for the Sixers, especially for their future. I think this is the beginning of the end for them. So the two teams I'm seeing that might be the beginning of the end, the Milwaukee Bucks and the 76ers. So mark my word on that. We'll see how they do. Now, interesting, the Toronto Raptors, I wasn't even able to fit them into the thumbnail because I realized when I did the screenshot, the Raptors didn't even fit in there because they're at the bottom. They're at the bottom. But guess what? The Raptors are number one in one thing. And you want to know what that is? The Raptors are the number one option or the number one draft pick because they currently have the worst record in the league, not just in the West, in the league, right? And if you ask me, this is somewhat genius of Masai right now. I mean, the players get to develop, right? They get to learn how to play with each other. Take time with Barnes. Don't rush him getting back on the floor, okay? And you have the best option for the number one draft pick. So, and we could say we're number one in the race for Cooper Flag right now, if you want to call it that. So that's somewhat of a good thing. Even if we don't get Cooper Flag, there are some good players that we could get. Even if we get if we get a pick anywhere from 1 to 5, I think that will be amazing for the Raptors. And I think that we would be projected to be a team to take serious, or I should say a contending team in the next 4 years, because we will get a top draft pick based on the way we're going right now. And I don't see any reason to change it. Grady Dick is going to develop this year. He's going to improve. By the time Scotty Barnes might come back after the half of the season. Who knows? And yeah, I don't expect them to try and chase position by then. So the Raptors right now, like I said, are number one. They're number one in getting the best draft pick right now. So we got to find something positive in the Raptors position right now. I don't mind watching the Raptors develop. I'm okay with it. I was ready for that. Okay. I went into the season prepared that, it's going to take some time. We're not going to just win with this squad. And like I said, we're in the best place right now, because I I actually thought we'd probably be hovering around 9, 10, 11 spot. But the fact that we're at the bottom is a really good thing, because like I said, we have the best option to get the number 1 pick. And I think Masai is a genius for that. He's a genius for taking his time, developing the team, and at the same time, uh, preparing to better the team for the future, right? So that's really good. And we have options. We have a lot of options in terms of moving players or acquiring players. So the books look good. Everything looks good. So the Raptors are in a good situation. And like I said, they're number 1 in the Cooper Flag race, or you could say they're number 1 in the draft pick race right now. So that's one good thing to look at for the Raptors right now. And tonight, the picks. Let's get straight into it. All right. Well, let's go into the player watch. First, we got Siakam, because he's coming back home to Toronto. We'll see how he does, because we want to see what's going on with the Pacers right now. What's really good with them, right? So we'll give us a reason to watch Siakam, and at the same time, we'll see how the Pacers are doing. Uh, all right. So J Star actually has the Raptors tonight +4 at home, going up against the Pacers. So let's see how he does. Again, J Star has +4 with the Raptors at home, uh, going up against the Pacers. I got the Rockets. Who are they playing again? Oh man, I got the Rockets +3. I totally forgot who they're playing, but it should be in the thumbnail. All right. Who are they playing? My goodness. Oh yeah, they're playing the Bucks. So that's a little bit risky. But I do like the Rockets, and the Bucks are struggling right now. So I hope the Bucks don't wake up tonight. I want them to stay asleep so I could get my spread. All right. So I got the Rockets +3 visiting the Milwaukee Bucks. J Star has the Raptors +4 at home versus the Indiana Pacers. All right. So y'all have a good night, and we'll catch you on the next one.